rewardable. This is the first teaching they get. So they now understand that the more nuisance I will be, the better I will be rewarded. That is what they understand. That is what we are teaching them actually indirectly. And they learn very quickly. They learn that very quickly. Which is not correct, we know. Second part is, when we tell them that, okay, you go and you do this, you go and you do this. A very young baby, when they're crying, we say, okay, take this toy, take this toy. We try to divert the attention of the baby from the point which she or he is crying or grieving into another point. We, right from that young age, we are teaching the kid not to focus and resolve, but to avoid and run away. We are trying to teach them, we are unknowingly teaching them to see that a problem can be resolved only by escapism. And that is why in today's life, we see that we do not get those many people who can focus and resolve problem solvers. And when they grow up, like us, when we are as an adult, when we grow up, we go for motivational speakers, we go for problem solving seminars, but we do not get the answer. Why? Because we are not trained inside. We are not trained to limit and control our senses and to make sure that we are facing the problem one-to-one and resolving it with a calm mind. Arjuna is telling this very clearly, that because yachoka mucho shanam indriyanam, because my sensing are drying up, my senses cannot take a decision. It is very good to see that even in that situation, Arjun can see himself. That is important. So, when we are always having in our life, sometime or the other, a situation where we are weak. Every human being has always gone through various stages in life, and many times they are weak. When we are weaker, we should be at least understanding that this is not my right time. I am not in the best shape. I am not the right person to decide the further action and the course of our work. We will never know. We'll never, we have to make sure that we understand that very clearly, that a very stable mind will be able to give a correct decision or take a correct decision and give proper instructions for the actions to be provided. If we are not a stable mind, then in that case, we should be leaving it to somebody who has got more stable. And that somebody is nothing but the Guru. That is why he is telling Shishyasteham. He knows that now he is incapable, and that is why he is telling Shishyasteham Shadimam Tvam Prapannam. I am your Shishya, please guide me. And he is very clearly telling that I do not want Avapya Bhuma Vasapatna Bruddham. Samruddham. Vasapatna. Unrevealed. Asapatnam means unrevealed. And Riddham means prosperous. Which even the celestial gods will like to have. I do not want it. So we should not, so what is the learning here? That we should not teach the kids right from they are toddlers to divert, but we should teach them to focus. Even though they are making noises initially, they are making disturbances initially, we should teach them how to keep a focus. We should teach them how to maintain the senses in a very cool and calm way and resolve the issues, face the issues one-to-one. That should be taught to them rather than, and that can be taught best when there is a prayer going on, when there is a puja going on in our life. When that is going on, we should be able to focus really well, and that teaching should be coming right from the very childhood. So that is important. And then when those kids are growing older, they start asking us a question, they don't follow the culture, and then we blame, oh, nowadays the kids are not good, they are not focusing, they are not coming into, prayers and all that. That's not correct. It is we who train them in that way. We should not be doing it. And one more thing we are seeing, why Arjuna is not nahi prapashyami. Prapashyami means I don't see. He says that I don't see. Mama panudyada. apanudyad. He is telling that I cannot see. Why? Because there is a definition and there is a difference between sukh and anand. He can kill the enemy who are his relatives and friends and brothers and ancestors. But with that kingdom, he will not be able to feel what is called as anand, the happiness. Why? Because he will be having the grip of killing them. And that is why he is telling that without those people who are his relatives, who are his friends, he will not like to live and have that rajyam suranam apichadi patyam. He doesn't want it. So there is a material gain versus peace of mind. We assume that the material gains will bring us peace. And we run throughout our life for that. But as we also talked last time and a little before, is that the happiness is in the mind. Happiness is not in the indriya. So if we follow the indriya sukh and we try to do the actions which is towards the indriya sukh, the mind will get the imprint of the reasons of the action, and that imprint will get us the grief and repentance. That is why we should not be doing it. Yeah. We cannot neglect the importance of facilities and resources. But then how should we be using it? We should use them as a mother. That is what is the relationship of the senses, the mind and the world. That should be the way. And that is why we have got Lakshmi Mata, we have got Kali Mata, and we have got Saraswati Mata. Those are powers. We should not run away from the powers. We should gain them. We should learn to earn them. But we should also remember that they are like mother. Like mother is not owned only by me, but he is also owned by my brothers and sisters. If the mother goes to other man's house, other brother house, I don't envy him. Oh, she is my mother, she is also his mother. And we don't envy it. In the same way, use the resources, not as a ownership and utilitarian consumption, but as a mother. That will resolve the problems of environmental issue as well as unequal distribution. But let us go further what Arjun is trying to say. There is one, so we will go further on the sloka. So when Arjun said this, Nahi prapashyami mama panudyad yachoka mucho shanam indriyanam avapya bhoma vasapatna vruddham rajyam suranam mapichadi patyam. When he said that, he told he doesn't want it. So now the sloka, so now the whatever Arjun wanted to say is told by Arjun. Till then, God is keeping silent. He is listening to him. He is listening to the problem. So the next sloka is Sanjay Uvacha. Now Sanjay is telling, remember this whole discussion is being seen by Sanjay and telling Dhritarashtra. So Sanjay Uvacha. Uvacha means said. So next sloka is Sanjay Uvacha. He's starting with Sanjay. So Sanjay Uvacha. Evam bhuktva ऋषिकेशं गुडाकेश परन्तपा न योत्स्य इति गोविन्दं उक्त्वा तुष्णिं बभूवः. Yeah. Sanjay is telling, evam uktva. Uktva means told. Uktva means told. Evam uktva, by telling this to Rishikesha, Sanjay said that thus telling to the Rishikesh, who? Gudakesha Parantapa. Gudakesha Parantapa. Both names are for the Arjun. Last time also and before also I have told, the name has got a very big value. Shakespeare told what is there in a name, but there is a lot in a name. A name gives us direction. A name gives us a quality. The name gives us motivation. There is a lot in the name. The name is identification. When we say this person is like a lion, what does it mean? The qualities of a lion is in the person. That means the name lion is an important thing. We tell the kid, don't be like a lamb, be an initiator. That means there is a value in the name. So I don't know how Shakespeare told what is there in a name, but the name is given most importance in Sanatan Dharma, in our culture. So Evam Uktva Rishikesham, Rishikesh, the owner of, the master of the mind and senses, is the meaning of Rishikesh. And Rishikesh is the name of the Krishna. So Evam Uktva, by telling this to Rishikesh, Gudakesha Parantapa Arjun, Na Yotsya, Na Yotsya, Iti Govindam. He told, I am finally decided that Na Yotsya, I will not fight. Na Yotsya means I will not fight. Uktva, again, Uktva means Evam Uktva Rishikesham, again Uktva, Uktva means said. Tushrim Babhuvaha, Tushrim, silent. Tushrim means silent. Arjun became silent. By telling this, Na Yotsyam, I am not going to fight, that is what Arjun told to Rishikesh, and he became silent. This shloka is extremely, I love this shloka very much, because this shloka has got lots of meaning, a lot of meaning. Let us see what is the meaning of the word Gudakesh. Gudakesh in a verbal term means conqueror of sleep. One who can conquer his sleep is Gudakesh. Gudakesh means conqueror of the sleep. So as a conqueror of the sleep, we think that, oh, he will not be sleeping for 5 days and he can still fight and all that. Yes, definitely. He may be because he was a big archer. But sleeping means what? What is the meaning of the word sleep? Sleeping means being inactive. Sleeping means not taking the action when it is required at a specific time, in a specific situation, at a specific location. When a person is not doing his or her duty, that is sleeping. That is sleeping. We sometimes say, oh, you didn't do this, were you sleeping? That is a kind of a slang which we use. It doesn't mean that physically the person was sleeping in the bed, but that means that he was not even thinking about the situation and taking action what is necessary at that moment. Then we call you, are you sleeping? Gudakesh, when Arjun name is Gudakesh, that means he is always an active person. He is never sleeping. He is never being inactive. He is never losing his grip over the situation where he is supposed to take an action. That is Gudakesh. That is called as Gudakesh. So here when Sanjay is telling his name Gudakesh, why in this shloka? Because it shows that a person's actions are not appropriate to what that person is generally expected to do. That is what it means. And that is why he is not telling Evam Uktva Rishikesham Arjun or somebody, Dhananjay. No, he is not telling. At this moment, his quality of activeness is not there. And that is what he wants to highlight. And that is why he is using the name Gudakesh. And the second name again, Parantapa. Parantapa means what? Parantapa means subduer of enemy, chastier of enemy, punisher, rebuck. He is a guy who will never show his back in the war. He will fight with the enemy and he will punish the enemy. He is a winner. He is a conqueror. So both these things, Gudakesha and Parantapa, are the qualities of a person who will fight and act. But at this moment, he is telling, Na Yotsya, I am not going to fight. So which is contradicting to his general nature which has been observed. And that is what Sanjay wants to highlight here. And that is why he is telling Gudakesha Parantapa. These two words. See, this also shows us that how we should be using our language. How we should be using the words while we are communicating with the people. Sometimes when the kid is young, say 5 or 7 year old, we tell the kid and he is afraid of, say for example, he is learning to ride a bicycle. And we are telling, oh, you are as strong like a lion. You are as strong like this. How can you be scared? Go and learn. We say that. Why? We want to motivate the kid. So at that time we give the example of lion. We give the example of a tiger. Ah, my teeny tiger. We say that. We give an example of a tiger. Why? Because we are trying to tell the kid that what behavior you are showing is contradicting to your nature. You are a lion. Come on. Mera beta, mera sher. We say that. So we are trying to motivate him. So whenever there is a quality of a person which we see, which is contradicting to whatever action the person is supposed to be doing, then always combine them together. That is the way of communication. One of the quality of communication is that, and that is what Sanjay, imagine, Sanjay is just a charioteer of Dhritarashtra. But how much intelligent he would have been? How much intelligent? He knows exactly which word to use at which place. And that is why he is using this word. Evam uktva rushikesham gudakesha parantapa. Gudakeshan parantapa. And we see that one who is a Gudakeshan parantapa, person with such ability becomes depressed. Yes. Becomes depressed. And he is telling, I shall not fight. This also teaches, see, every shloka is teaching us so many messages. Another message which says that even if a person is taught to be highest skilled, even if a person is told to be having highest efficiency in the work, but if that person is not taught how to control the senses, how to be calm and peaceful while taking the decision, those skills which are being taught is useless. The first basic skill is to teach how to remain calm, peaceful, and control the senses to take the decision. That should be the fundamental teaching. Nowadays, what we are teaching in our all institutions, look at any institution across the world, they are all teaching the skills, the techniques, the technology, whereas the Sanatan Dharma first gives emphasis on teaching the kid how to keep calm, how to maintain peace of mind while taking a decision, because that is more fundamental requirement. Here we see that even if Arjuna is highly skilled, he cannot take the decision to fight. He is taking a wrong decision, and that is very important. So it is giving us understanding clearly that a very cool and calm mind is more important than learning of the skills, because otherwise a person cannot decide, cannot become a right decision maker. And one more thing is that uktva tushrim babuvaha, the Arjun becomes silent. So when does a person become silent? Loss of hope, no way to come out of a situation, and grief over happiness. Then a person becomes silent. Silence does not mean in agreement. It is understanding which is required between a spoken and unspoken words. It is very important that we learn to hear silence. Somebody told that if you cannot listen my silence, how can you hear my words? Very important, a very deep meaning behind it. So silence is a big uproar. We should learn to hear the silence. Big political leaders have made big mistakes in their life by seeing that, oh, the people in the country are silent. They think that the people in the country are silent. But that doesn't mean that there is not an uproar. It is sometimes told that silence is actually an indication of a big storm coming in. So when Arjun becomes silent, Arjun has become silent, what does it mean? And this silence has been heard very clearly by Krishna. So unless we hear the silence, we cannot reply in words. We cannot reply in correct words. The importance of learning to hear, to listen, the silence. Here today in North America, we always hear, that once the kids are becoming teenager, they don't listen to us and they don't answer us. The father is angry, the father is telling, oh, why don't you talk to me? Why don't you tell me? And kids are silent. Teenagers especially, they are silent. They don't talk to parents. They don't argue. They don't argue. They don't fight or quarrel with you. They just keep silent. They keep doing their things. They will never reply you. But they will not follow your instructions. So silence is a big tool. And Arjun is using it. Na yotsyam iti govindam uktva tushrim babuvaha. He became silent. Babuvaha means became. He became silent. Silence also means reaching a dead end in a situation. That is why you see in the people who need psychological help, they are first listened by the psychiatrist. Psychiatrists, what do? They talk. They keep talking. And what do they talk? Mainly they listen. They ask a guided question to a person to get what is in the mind of a person who is silent. So silence also represents the depression, a psychological need. Whenever I go and travel in public transport here, sometimes I go, I see everybody is silent. They are in their mobile phone. Nobody talks to no one, even if it is a completely crowded bus. There is not a single person talking to the other person, either through a word or a gesture, even a smile, even a good morning. We can imagine this society, how much aloofness, how much loneliness, and that is why in the North America, per every 3 person there is one psychiatrist. It's a very individualistic, because we are rushing into a very, individual's rights way of thinking. We have lost the human touch. We have lost the connection, and that is why people are silent. That is why when we go through the public transport, you see everybody is silent. There is a pin drop silence. Everybody is in the mobile, either sleeping or whatever, but they will not talk to the other person. Hey buddy, how are you? How is the weather and all that? And anybody who talks is considered as a incorrect person. This is not a good person or correct person. People are scared to talk to them. So Arjun is silent. And because he is silent, the decision he has taken in the silence is inaction. He told, Na yotsyam, I am not going to act. And that is a completely representing the depression and his incorrect action. So there is one more thing. When do we reach such situation? It is not, so here for Arjun, it is a decision between two dharma. Whether he should fight as a Kshatriya or whether he should be not killing his relatives and friends and brothers only for the sake of the kingdom. The decision between adharma and dharma is very simple. But decision between two dharma, when it comes, and when the mind is not able to decide, the person becomes silent. In our family also, if we want to have a cohesive family, look around. Who is silent? Who is more silent? And try to listen to their silence. That will resolve many issues in our family life nowadays. It's very important. Yeah. And silence does not mean not to speak. Yeah, if you say, oh, silent means a person is not talking. No, silence doesn't mean not to speak. Silence means not to speak what is required. Silence, a person may be laughing, a person may be smiling, a person may be, joking, but with a crying heart. With a crying heart. They cannot tell what they feel. They cannot share in their life. That is silence. Silence doesn't mean only that they are not speaking. They may be walking and talking, but they are not sharing what they feel to the people whom he or she thinks they are their own people. That is silence. That is what is silence. And Arjun is not happy, he is in Vishad, and that is why he became silent and he told that, Na Yotsyam, Na Yotsya, I will not fight. So now Sanjay is explaining that by telling Na Yotsya, Arjun became silent. So when Arjun became silent, now the God will start talking. So now next sloka, the 10th sloka is Tamuvacha ऋषिकेश प्रहसन्नीव भारत सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये विषीदन्तमिदं वच. Tam uvacha Rishikesha. Uvacha means said. When Arjun became silent, Rishikesh said, Prahasanniva Bharata. This is Prahasanni is very important word here. Prahasanni means what? Prahasan means smiling. When Arjun is so much sad, worried, and overwhelmed by anguish, the God is smiling. This teaches us a lot. So the meaning of this is that in the midst of the army, Senayor Ubyor Madhye, in the midst of the army, Sri Krishna smilingly spoke the words Vishidantam. Vishidantam means in the grief-stricken Arjun, he is telling. Krishna is listening calmly and smilingly. So, how to handle a grave situation? By keeping your mind stable and in a pleasant condition. It's a very grave situation. The main warrior of the Pandav side is telling that I am not going to fight. How can we win a war? We cannot win a war. And also Arjun is giving logical argument. He is not just telling that I am scared, I don't want to fight. He is giving a very logical argument. He is giving the logical argument that how can I kill my relatives? So stable mind is necessary in the time of crisis, and they are in the middle of the battlefield. It is very important. Stable mind can think correctly and can guide other people. Yeah. And also towards the righteous action. So here there is one point we always get that experience every day mostly, is that infection of emotions. We always get infected by the emotions. If there is a person coming angrily to us, we react with anger. If there is a person coming with a grief, we react with the grief. We console, we say, oh, I am so sorry, I am also feeling sad, you are feeling sad, I am also feeling sad. Like that. So we always get infected by the emotions. Anger is faced with anger and greed is faced with greed. Oh, you are like that? Okay, I will also be like that. So the infection of emotions happen. And the only way to stop it is not to get in the swirl of the other person's emotion. Otherwise, it will keep on going. We see the street side fighting. That is because of the anger which is infected in the whole group. Oh, it is only because of the fighting. No, it is everywhere. It is also in the investment in the wrong stock. Yeah, everybody says, oh, let us invest. This stock is going to go up. This stock is going to go up. So everybody invest in that stock. What happens? The stock falls and everybody is unhappy. So while investing in the stock, I did not think logically and calculated correctly, but I came into the emotion that everybody is investing. Let me also invest. So it is not only the fighting or such, it is in every area of the life. We should not get infected by the emotions. It also says that we need a true guide in life whenever we are weak in a moment. Let us take an example, how a situation can be seen by two people. So there was a shoe company. And that shoe company was making good quality shoes, and they thought that let us expand. So they sent one sales manager to Africa, and he told that you go over there, you do the the survey and all that, and we are going to send you one ship full of shoes. We'll send you one ship full of shoes in your place, and we will be able to start selling over there. So you go over there and you survey. So this sales manager goes over there, and sales manager is seeing that, there's Africa, there is nobody is wearing the shoes, There is no necessity of shoes over here. Nobody is wearing the shoe for ages and, for so many generations. There is not going to be any business over here. If people are not used to wearing shoes, there is no business here. So he is writing, he is faxing at that time. So he is sending a fax email. He is sending a fax to the company. Please don't send any shoes here because nobody wears the shoes here. It is not a habit of wearing shoes here. So will not be any selling here. So the company sends back the fax that you are terminated. He lost his job. And the company said, send another salesperson. Same way and exactly same instructions. Go over there, we are going to send you one ship full of shoes, and you survey over there and you find how to sell our shoes. This person goes over there and he is seeing exactly same situation. He is seeing that nobody is wearing the shoe over there and all that. So he is faxing the company. Instead of sending one ship full of shoes, please send 3 ship full of shoes. Reason, nobody is wearing here. Means everybody is going to buy the shoe and we will have a lot of sale. Same situation can be seen with a stable mind in a different way. I'll give another example. There was a munim, there was an accountant, we can say. He was carrying a lot of cash, like say 20, 40 lakhs of rupees. In Indian time, I'm giving Indian example, but say approximately 50,000 cash, something dollars here. So he was going to a place where he has to pay that money, 50 lakhs rupees. And because it's a small place, there is only one train which is reaching there in the village in the night time. So he get down from the train at 11 o'clock in the night. It's a deserted station. It's a small village. There's no one seen. The village is actually away. The railway station is around 2-3 kilometers away. He is worried. If I take this much cash with me, somebody can loot me. Somebody can hurt me and take this whole money from me. It's a bad situation. It's a very difficult situation. How to handle it? How to handle it? So the ticket checker comes to him and ticket checker is asking, okay, where is the ticket? It's a station master, one person managing the whole station. So he is thinking and he is telling, I don't have the ticket. And the ticket master says, how can you travel without a ticket? Now I will put you in jail and I will, put you in forward to the whatever district judge or whoever is a judge, local, governing body, and to give you some kind of a punishment because you are not traveling with a proper ticket. And he says, okay. So now he should not run away. So that station master is putting him in a room, like a jail, a small room which is locked and from outside, and he cannot go away. He is alone in the room like that. So he is putting him in the jail. He is putting him in that room and locks the door from outside. This accountant is sleeping in the room whole night. And then in the morning, the guy comes and says, okay, let us go to the police. I'll hand you over to the police because you didn't take the proper ticket. And he is taking the ticket out of his pocket and says, here is the ticket. I don't need to go to the police. And the station master, the ticket checker, is surprised. He's telling, why didn't you show me in the night itself? I would have let you go. You spent your whole night in the room, in the jail. And he's telling, see, the situation is like this. I am having a lot of cash. If I would have shown you the ticket, I would have gone out of the railway station and I would have been in trouble. Now, because I am in a locked room, I am in a jail, there is no one who can loot the money from me. So I slept with my money very comfortably all through the night, and now I am happy to go to my further work destination. A bad situation can be handled in a better way with a proper, sensible mind. That is the meaning of this message. How intellectually we can use our mind only when it is calm and peaceful. That is what it shows over here. So God is also very peaceful, He is smiling. That is how He can think and give the reply to Arjun in a proper way. So we'll go further on the 11th shloka here. Shri Bhagwan Uvacha Ashotyanan Vashochatsvam Pragnavadanscha Bhasase Gatasuna Gatasunscha Nanushocanti Pandita. The God says, Bhagwan says, the Supreme Lord says, Ashotyan, Ashotyanan Vashochotvam. Ashotyan means not worthy of grief. Something which is not worthy of grief, you are grieving on, you are mourning on. Something which is not supposed to be grieved, you are grieving on. Pragnavadanscha bhasase. Yeah, pragnavad, words of wisdom. Even though what you are telling looks like the words of wisdom, you are grieving on something which is not supposed to be grieving. Why? Because gata suna, gata sunscha. Gata means gone. Gata means gone, moving. Asuna, so here it's a very, one who knows Sanskrit, this is a very beautiful, articulation of language. So it is gata asuna, agata asuna. These two words, 4 words, gata asuna, agata asuna. Gata means gone, agata means not gone. And asun means at that moment. So gata asuna, agata asuna. That means gata asuna, gata suns cha. Cha means and. So one which is gone means dead, and one which is not gone is living, means existing. It is applicable to human beings, it is applicable to everything what we see around us. And he is telling, Nanu shochanti pandita, anu shochanti. Anu shochanti means lament, to lament on, to be sad about, to cry over. Anu shochanti. So the God said, why you are speaking the words of wisdom, it looks like, you are mourning for what is not worthy of the grief. Because Pandita, the wise people, Nanu shochanti, never, Anu shochanti, never grieve, never lament over what is live or dead. The whole reason of Arjuna is that if I fight, my relatives are going to die. And the very reason the God is directly talking on the very first point is Gata Suna, Gata Sunscha. Gata Asuna, Agata Asuna. Whatever is live or dead, the Pandita never grieve over, never lament on such situation. So we have got 2-3 points over here. So number one is that when we lament, what do we do? When we lament, what do we do? We spend our time, we spend our present time, we spend our present happiness over the grief which has happened in the past. So that eats away our happiness of present as well as the future. Because we are grieving or lamenting actually, because we are lamenting, we are unable to enjoy the happiness of present, and because we are lamenting, we are unable to take proper action so that we are even hurting our future also. That is why lamenting is not a intelligent thing to be done. Nanu shochanti pandita. A intelligent person will never lament on dead or living. Here dead or living doesn't mean a living person and a dead person. It is everything. It is connected to car, it is connected to house, it is connected to all the items which you see around us. So what happens when we lament? It leaves the soreness in our heart. Past bad experiences keeps giving us a grief in the present. Another part is that we cannot undo the past. We cannot undo the past. So thinking about it will just waste the time. We cannot undo the past. Thinking about it will just waste the time. But does it mean that we should not learn from the past? No, we must learn from the past. We must learn from the past. We should remember it. But we should not stick to it. We should not lament on it. That is what the God is telling. So, Nanu Shochanti Pandita. Anu Shochanti means lament. You think about it, but you do not lament on it. That is what the God is telling. And that is the nature of a wise man. So, a wise man never lament on the past, but always thinks of present and the future. We always have a, somebody die in our family. So dying is a person or an animal dying is the biggest grief in a human life. And it is common in both humans and animals. Even if in an animal also we see that if one animal dies, the other related animal is having a lot of grief. They also cry. They also have a lot of feeling. We have seen that in our homes, where a dog is, when somebody is sick or something, even our pet animals like dogs and cats, they become very unhappy too. They try to, sympathize with the person who is sick. When we are sad, the dog comes and tries to play with us more because it tries to sympathize. So even it is not only human to human and animal to animal, it is also human and animal across. So we try to sympathize. And by telling that what we do, we tell that don't lament. Do not lament on it. That is what we are telling. So God is trying to explain here that the term of dead and alive, and we will take what is the dead and alive and what is a impact of lamenting. We are already 11 o'clock today. So we will come on next Saturday again at 10 o'clock. And we will go further on this slok that Nanu Shochanti Pandita, why we should not be lamenting, what is lamenting, and how it impacts our life. So we'll go further from 11th sloka on chapter 2 next Saturday again morning at 10 o'clock. I will stop at this moment and this pravachan and wish everyone a very happy weekend. Be safe. It's lots of snow outside and lots of wind, very cold. So take care of yourself. Vasudeva Sudam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Para Brahma Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha.